Alright, so it's time for another edition of Meth Chronicles. Now, I know it's been a while since I've posted anything, so I do apologize, but another story popped into my head and I felt like I want to share it with you guys. And in case you're wondering what Meth Chronicles is actually about, this is me chronicalizing my hallucinogenic experiences as it relates to meth in the order that they've happened, that I can recall anyway. So let me tell you about this story where I actually had a mental breakdown, ended up in a hospital and everything, okay? So I'm going to tell you the events as I perceive them, and then I'll go back and tell you what actually happened and what didn't happen. So here's what was going on. Now, whenever I would do any kind of meth, I would always have this tick. And this tick is usually something that is illogical, that is repetitive, that you believe is happening, or something that you do that you can't really control, but you're always doing it, and it usually doesn't make any sense. So my tick is shit. I'm always thinking I'm shitting on myself. I'm thinking I smell like shit. I'm thinking I put shit all over the place. I'm thinking I'm shitty as a bull. 10 times out of 10, that's not the case at all. But in my head, that's what I believe is going on, right? So this particular day, I convinced myself that I had shit it all over my fucking room, that my roommates and everybody he had over could smell it, and they're talking about me like a motherfucking dog, right? Meth also makes you paranoid as fuck, so you start believing everybody's against you. I digress, but back to the story. So I see them all leave, and I hear someone say on the other side of the door, "Look, bitch, your roommate is hot with your ass. Like, he can't believe you just sat up here and shit it all over your motherfucking self. Now everybody gotta leave because the smell is overpowering every fucking thing." And I'm like, oh my God. God, tell me this isn't happening. Please kill me now. I done made a shit-tastic, a crap-tastical mess in this fucking room, and everybody gotta leave. He's gonna leave, he's gonna give you time to clean yourself up, do whatever you need to do, but make it quick. So the moment I see everybody fucking leave, I'm like, shit, let me get my shit. Clean up, picking up shit, grabbing towels and stuff. I'm running my ass down the steps to get into that motherfucking bathroom so I can wash my motherfucking ass. And while I'm in there cleaning up, I hear someone say, "Yo, your roommate is back. He can't believe you ain't cleaned up yet." I'm like, I just got in the shower. What the fuck? So bitch, I hurry up and get out the motherfucking shower. I run my ass upstairs and I'm trying to clean. And on the other side of the door, I'm hearing my roommate go the fuck off like, "I don't give a fuck what that bitch doing. Now let me get my motherfucking gun, bitch. That bitch gotta get the fuck up out of here today." And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. God, just please kill me. And I start to have a mental breakdown. Now, how I knew it was a mental breakdown is the fact that I could not logically execute the logical steps in cleaning up after myself. It's like step one would have been, okay, take your ass to the shower, come back upstairs, grab your sheets, put them in the washing machine, mop and sweep the floor, grab some new sheets, put them on the bed, take your ass to bed, and cut the lights off. For whatever reason, I could not execute those steps in the order they should have been done. And I motherfucking literally collapsed. I sat up against the wall, started hysterically crying, followed by hysterical laughter, followed by hysterical crying, followed by hysterical laughter. I legit was having a complete mental breakdown, and I was on the other side of the door of my room. I'm still hearing my roommate go the fuck off. Like, nah, bitch, you gotta get the fuck up out of here. I don't care if you're breaking down tonight. Get your shit. So I hastily packed me a motherfucking bag, and I walk my ass outside. And I see across the street motherfuckers standing on the street laughing at me. I figure out what the fuck I'm doing because I'm outside crying and I'm walking as if I'm woozy and I'm not even walking right. Like I'm stumbling and shit. I'm walking all in people's yards, not even in the street. And I decide, look, if I walk my ass anywhere in this condition, I'm going to get picked up by the cops. So since nobody at home is willing to help me out, I might as well call 911. So, bitch, I called 911 on my motherfucking phone. I'm like, look, I'm having a complete mental fucking breakdown. Somebody needs to come pick my ass up before the cops does. So please come get my ass. My address is blah, 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 right? So I walk back over to my roommate's cars and I see him sitting in one of the cars. I stare in the driver's seat and I see him with a motherfucking taser, bitch. Right? So I just collapse between the two cars and I sit there for a minute until I hear the ambulance, and I walk my ass up to the ambulance and I tell them that I want to go to the VA hospital, right? They're like, well, no one's answering the phone there or something like that, so we want to take you to Chippenham. So I go to Chippenham Hospital, again, thinking I'm shitty as a bull. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta walk through the ER like this. They gonna smell me and shit. I'm like, oh, fuck it, whatever. I don't care. I'm crazy as a bitch anyway. Who the fuck cares? So I get there and I hear my roommate, along with another friend of his, talking to me. I'm like, well, so he followed me to the hospital? But when the ambulance came, he was nowhere to be seen. Why didn't he come? I'm like, wow, okay, this is weird. So I'm in this room, and this room has these like rubber seats on on both sides of the wall. Like pretend the sofa behind me is like a green rubber ass sofa on this side and a green rubber ass sofa on that side, and right there will be a TV, right? So the TV had plexiglass in front of it, but behind it was like just paint on the wall. For whatever reason, I'm hearing my roommates. I'm like, they're like, push through, Andrew, push through. I'm like, push through? What the fuck does that mean? Like, push through, bitch, push through. Get up and push through. I'm like, what does that mean, push through? I'm like, well, where the hell are y'all? I don't see you. So I start moving the damn furniture. I'm like the sofa, the rubber seat was like sectioned like this, but you could pull it apart, right? So I'm pulling shit apart. I'm looking behind shit. I'm like, where are y'all? How come I can hear you, but I don't see you? Finally, I look up where the TV is, and it looks as if behind the TV is like two-way glass. So I'm seeing the outline of my roommate and a friend of his that always comes over that knows me and whatnot. They're like, bitch, you gotta push through. I'm like, okay. They're like, find a wall, bitch, push through. So I'm like, okay, push through. So, bitch, I push one wall, nothing. I push on another wall, nothing. They're like, bitch, go to that wall. So, bitch, I push on this last wall. The whole room is starting to spin as if it's on a turntable, like it's one of those fake escape room type situations. So the whole fucking room is moving. I'm like, yo, the room is moving. How the fuck is the room moving? And it's like, that's right, bitch, push through, push through. I'm like, oh my God, so wait a minute, you mean to tell me this is like, it's like a fun room? Like, when the hell does this hospital, how does this hospital have the ability and the finances to create some elaborate room like this? It's like a puzzle. So I'm like, okay, well, this must be some type of psychological game for me to prove that I'm not crazy, for me to show y'all that I'm not crazy, I'm not going to accept being in here, and I just have to show them that I am aware that this is a game, right? So I start pushing, bitch. I'm throwing myself up against the wall. Push through, bitch. The room is moving. It's completely moving. The walls are completely rearranging as it turns around in a circle. I'm like, yo, this is crazy as fuck. Like, I'm giddy at this point. I'm happy. I'm like, oh my God, y'all, I was such in a bad mood and shit. I'm thinking I'm crazy and stuff. And y'all got this whole elaborate scheme. So I'm happy as a bitch, right? I open up the damn door. And it's like a hallway and a little reception person and a policeman and a nurse, couple of nurses. I'm like, yo, like, what's going on? They were like, what are you talking about, Mr. Braxton? I'm like, y'all got this whole setup in here. Like, y'all need to stop playing. They're like, Mr. Braxton, we don't know what you're talking about, but we need you to stop throwing yourself up against the wall. We need you to stop cussing, and we need you to calm down. I'm like, okay, these bitches are playing. They really in character. They in character like shit. So let me go back in here. I'm like, why the fuck they out there acting like this isn't an elaborate, deception? And my roommate again and his friend are like, Don't listen to them bitches. You tell them motherfuckers that you ain't crazy and that you gonna continue to push through. So I start pushing the walls again. Again, they're moving around. I'm like, okay, well, the room is moving, but when I open the door, I still see the same shit that I saw before. So, so I closed the door again. I opened the door again. Like, Mr. Braxton, do you need something? I'm like, yeah, I need y'all to tell me what the fuck is going on. Like, why the hell is y'all acting like this isn't an elaborate deception? They're like, Mr. Braxton, if you can't calm down, we'll give you something to calm down. I said, well, look, I'm gonna need y'all motherfuckers to give me something to calm down because I ain't about to play with y'all all motherfucking night with this room spinning around and people in this motherfucker. Y'all gonna act like this ain't motherfucking, this isn't a big ass puzzle. Like, what the fuck? They're like, okay, Mr. Braxton, since you can't calm down, bitch, the next thing I know, they grab this arm, they give me a needle this big, shoot something up in my ass. I sit my ass down and I wake up in the morning. Child, I woke up the next motherfucking morning and they roll in this monitor on wheels, and the monitor has a psychiatrist that can see me through a camera. So I'm talking to the psychiatrist on his monitor, and the psychiatrist is like, well, what led you to come here? So I told them exactly what happened as I perceived it. And, I was like, in that moment, I realized, wait a minute, this shit was real. Like, this wasn't a puzzle. This wasn't an elaborate deception. This wasn't any kind of psychological experiment. I hallucinated all of that shit. The walls moving. And I'm like, wow, okay. Told her what happened. And I was expecting to be on a 72-hour psych hold, but a couple hours later, they're like, okay, you're free to go. I'm like, okay, well, how come no one's called me? I'm expecting at this point my phone to be going off with all kinds of messages and calls and are you okay? Nothing. I'm like, God damn, my roommate really don't give a fuck about me. Like, didn't he see how I was? Wasn't he here last night at least? I mean, like, what the fuck? So I have to walk my ass home, which is like maybe a mile and a half. I walk my ass back here and I go up in my room and I come down and I'm like trying to clean up my room. And my roommate's like, where did you go? I'm like, bitch, you didn't see the ambulance take me? I was at the fucking hospital all night. Like, what do you mean? He was like, the hospital? Are you sure you was at the hospital? Did you hallucinate that? I said, yo, I fucking heard you talk about kicking me out and getting your gun, and I saw you with a taser in your car. He was like, Andrew, I wasn't even here last night. I was at the bar. I thought you was in your room. Bitch, I couldn't do nothing but turn my ass around, run back in my room, and cry my ass to sleep in my motherfucking pillow. None of that happened. None of what I thought happened actually happened. He didn't know what the fuck I was talking about because he wasn't even here. So I hallucinated. I saw a bunch of shit that was not even happening at all. I didn't shit on myself. He wasn't mad at me. No one knew anything about what was going on. He wasn't here. I'm like, what the entire fuck? Like, how could my mind create such an elaborate ruse? Yeah. But the goddamn phrase of the day is push through, bitch. Push through. If you're having a situation that you need to get through, push through. So that's the only silver lining I can figure out in that whole situation, which is crazy as fuck. Drugs are bad. Don't do drugs, okay? I'm again giving y'all my little tidbits and my experiences, my hallucinations, and just trying to explain to you how mind altering this substance can be. Push through. But if you want it, if you're hooked on it, push through. Seek the mental help that you need. Seek, create some type of support network or something of that nature. Talk to somebody. Don't make crazy life-changing decisions while you're high or while you're coming down, because you're more than likely going to make decisions that will negatively impact your life, such as taking your life. Because you could be mighty low and mighty depressed when you're dealing with this drug, when you're coming down, or when you're trying to, sleep it off. So again, my story to you, another Meth Chronicle. Until next time, bye-bye.